What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, seems to be pretty highly anticipated since I got the bottle, and today we're talking about the new Club de Nuit Precieux #1 from Armaf. Gotta say, the sleek new bottle design is where it's at. They have a interesting box presentation, which we will go over in a moment, but we're gonna do a side-by-side. I have a few carded samples of Absolu Aventus, and I'm gonna tell you right here and now, and this is one thing I've kind of really always liked about the Club de Nuit line, is yeah, it smells like Absolu Aventus, but it is not one-to-one. It is not a carbon copy. There are differences. It's more of a twist that excites me more. If I want Absolu Aventus, I'll just buy Absolu Aventus. If I want Absolu Aventus with a twist that gives it new character and makes different accords and makes it in some ways a little more interesting than the real deal, then that's where this comes into play. Let's discuss. Stay tuned. And real quick before we dive into this, I don't know if you knew this. I have another channel. It's called TLTG Vlogs, and I do other things. Some fitness-related content from time to time, other types of reviews, and most notably, I do sneaker content over there. This video actually dropped today. Jordan 3 Green Glows. I'm a color coordination type of guy. So if you're interested in stuff like that, there's a link to the channel right there. Actually, to this video specifically, Jordan 3 Green Glows. Go check it out, give it a sub if you like the content. Let's get into this. So I just remembered, before we dive into that box presentation, I gotta say, Fragrance Buy did send this my way. They just got it in stock for 58 bucks. I'll have the link down below. It is an affiliate link. I earn a small commission. That has nothing to do. They could care less what I say about these fragrances. You know what I mean? I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm super excited when they're like, hey, we want to send this your way. It's like, absolutely, of course I want to check this out. So very eager. I got a lot of great things to say and maybe some not so great things to say at the same time. You might be surprised. So let's look at this box presentation. It's kind of a new thing for Armaf. So first things first, this is what it looks like. There's actually a serrated thing that you pull that's going to pop it open. But here we go. Club de Nuit. Some information on the back. You know, so you pull that open. It actually opens again like so, and there's an additional box inside. Now this box has this rubberized like flap that goes around. Armaf is raised on it. You can see these little pieces to flip it open. So it's actually very involved to get to this bottle. Now this by itself is nice. If it was just this, that's all they need. I put it in a little cardboard sleeve to slide this out of, and I think that's plenty. I think what they did is a little overkill. It is nice, but it's overkill. It's unnecessary. But hey, they're giving you a lot for your money. Some people really dig this kind of stuff. And get that open, nice flip top door. Velvety felt-like type of thing going on. Pull that tab. There is a cleaning cloth that comes with. That's what I'm saying. They gave you a lot here. Foam cutout that fits the bottle in here. And then cleaning cloth that says Armaf Club de Nuit. It's very involved. They give you a little bit of a story about Precieux #1. So it is #1. So that tells me we have more coming in this line. Now, this is speculation. A lot of people have been clamoring for them to do their version of Virgin Island water. And I'm going to throw it out there now. Nobody's told me anything. This is purely an assumption and a gut feeling. I bet it's going to be in this line. Precieux number whatever. We're finally going to get a Club de Nuit Virgin Island water clone from them. Well, it's more inspired because their clones aren't really clones. They're more inspired by. And speaking of, that's what I love about this. But let's take a quick look. Let me get up close for this bottle. So here you can see highly reflective, but it's sleek. Design going around the side. Club de Nuit Precieux with Roman numeral #1. Has the dangling jewel, says Club de Nuit on one side. Flips to Armaf with a jewel. I do like it. I gotta say, it clangs a little bit, but it's not as bad as like the John Barbados XX line. Have that same design going around the collar, Armaf's logo on top of the cap. I would not recommend holding it by the cap. You can grab the collar, but I mean, it holds, but it's still risky business. Cap is metal, has a little bit of plastic filling. You have Armaf on top of the atomizer, and it's a good atomizer. Does a good job, nothing crazy special. Let's get back over here. Man, does that smell good out in the air. It really does. So first things first, here we have an official Creed Absolu Aventus carded sample. This is the one that I have sprayed from, that I dropped close to an ml out of so far. So we're gonna go on top of the hand with the rose tattoo with that 3 little spritzes, which is about 1 real spray, roughly, from a Creed atomizer. We're gonna put that right here, and we're gonna go on the other hand, the hand with the NWO tattoo. Big spray over there of the Armaf. Now, I'll go ahead and put the note breakdown according to Parfumo on screen for you guys. I have it pulled up here. There's a lot of notes here. And you'll notice there's a lot of similarities to Absolu Aventus. There's a lot of differences. The pear, caramel, these different things. Very much a different fragrance. Now, I gave this a moment for the alcohol to dissipate a little bit. As far as the original, gingery, spiced, and citric. Not super fruity at the top. So, by the way, I will have had both note breakdowns on screen, by the way. I will have had Precieux on the top and Absolu Aventus on the bottom, so y'all can see the similarities and the differences. The Armaf has a lot more notes going on, and you do smell some differences here. Whereas this is much fruitier. I think you get more pineapple pear going on here than any caramel and lemon. I do get a nice hit of lemon as well, which ties to kind of oddly the signature to the Club de Nuit Intense Man line. The lemon has always been what's made it stand out from everything else that smells like Aventus. Club de Nuit Intense and all its flankers, lemon. You get a lot of lemon up front. You still get that here. Now, the biggest caveat is the quality of oil upgrade I feel that we got. Now, I haven't spoken to anybody. I don't know if that's to be fact, but it feels like there's an increase in quality here. It's not as synthetic and sharp and screechy as normal. It still doesn't smell like the Creed, not near on par with the same level of quality. But immediately I get an aromatic, woody, fresh spice, a little touch of creaminess, and I believe that's the ginger from Absolu Aventus. Whereas I get more straight up woody spice, and I don't really get creamy from Precieux. Precieux kind of, it's similar to, but not the same. To call it what it is, from start to finish, because I wore this yesterday, I gotta say, it's like 80%. It's not 1-to-1, guys. Like, it's extremely similar to Absolu Aventus. There's other smaller clone houses that have made, like, tried to make carbon copies that are like 90+% accurate. You know, they're much closer and maybe even a little higher quality smelling to Absolu Aventus. But the charm in this one is the differences. I prefer the differences. Again, I go back to, if I want Absolu Aventus that bad, I'd save, and for anybody that likes to, I can't spend that on a fragrance, skip a couple rounds of buying cheapies and save up if you want it badly enough. You'll skip the $30 fragrances for a while, is my point here. So if I want Absolu Aventus to get the real experience, I would encourage getting the Absolu Aventus. But if you want something similar but different at the same time, that's where this comes in. I prefer this to actual Absolu Aventus. And I've had every opportunity to get a great deal on the 75 ml. It's the only reason I don't have it's because I just don't want to buy it. And I gave it a 9.5 out of 10 when it came out last year. Absolu Aventus was one of the best releases of 2023. Please don't get it twisted. I highly respect the profile and what Creed tried to do. I just didn't feel like I had to have it. When I want the Aventus profile, I'll just wear Aventus Cologne or Aventus. I have both of those and I prefer those. Whereas with this, I prefer this. Yeah, and it's no bullshit. I'm dead serious. I prefer this to Absolu Aventus because of the twist. There's more citrus. There's more fruits here. It's not the same. I saw somebody asked me yesterday that they heard someone else say Perseus mixed with Absolu Aventus. Now, I don't think I distinctively smell Perseus, but I understand what they mean because there's more citrus. So in that realm, yes. Perseus specifically, who knows? I think that's just relating it to something. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying this is like, kind of like this. Like that was the relation. That's the picture they could paint for what they were smelling. Whomever that was. If you happen to see this, whoever that was. Shout out to you. I get where your thought process was. I agree. Maybe not specifically that fragrance, but the whole citrus top, yes, I totally agree. Because that's the differences here. As it dries, it becomes that woody, spiced, aromatic of Absolu Aventus. As it dries down, obviously it gets much closer. That's where it really gets into that 80% accurate territory to the original. But the openings are very different, honestly. Not very different, but different enough. Noticeably different. A lot more citrus, a lot more fruit. I think you get a lot more of the lemon, pear, pineapple combo that's going on here with Precieux. I think, honestly, this is going to be a hit. This is going to be a hype beast. Let's call it what it is. It's going to be hyped. There's places I've heard charging $90, $150. Don't do all that. Fragrance buy while in stock, it's $58 down below. And I had somebody ask me yesterday, should I wait till it gets cheaper? My man. Let me grab it. Where's it at? Right here. My man. This has been out for years now. It ain't getting cheaper. If you're waiting for this to get cheaper than $58, that means you're waiting for it to get to 54, maybe, sometimes, because it ain't getting to 30, 35. I don't think. I mean, it could. You never know. This is an assumption, but this is still 45 to 55, even $60. And it's been out for years now. And I actually do prefer this still, because people are going to ask me this or this, because people that watch this channel know this is my favorite Club de Nuit flanker. It's still my favorite. This is number 2. I thought about it this morning. I think I need to rank all of my Club de Nuit intense flankers. If you're interested in something like that, let me know. All my Club de Nuits, just a spoiler alert, 1 and 2. This is still my favorite. This is still my favorite Armaf fragrance. It's Aventus with a twist. It's not exactly Aventus. That's why I like it so much. So I wanted to, for comparison's sake, because to the gentleman that asked me that, no, I don't think, if you're waiting for it to get cheaper, you're just waiting just to wait, basically. I don't think you're going to find it much cheaper a year from now, 2 years from now. I think it's still going to be in the $50 range. So if you want it now, you want it now. If you want to wait, just wait. But as far as that, I don't think that's necessary. I don't foresee that being the case, especially since it's a special line they've just created. Seems like they've invested a little bit more in the creation as far as their pricing. Now, I'm sure it's still just a couple of dollars a bottle for them to manufacture, but it seems like they increased their oil quality just a little bit with where they're sourcing their oils. I think if anything, you get more of a soft woody blend out of this than you do with Absolu Aventus, where it's distinctive and defined. There's a sharper woody tone to it. The creaminess I would attribute more to ginger, and it's overall spicier. Absolu Aventus is an overall spicier fragrance throughout, whereas Club de Nuit Precieux is a more citrus fruity fresh at the top. More woodsy fragrance throughout, with even a little bit of a leathery feel that I don't necessarily get from Absolu Aventus. I do get this nice leather accord, like more of a brown leather, supple, soft leather feel as it dries down and gets a few hours in. I get a leathery facet that normally people would relate to regular Aventus that I don't really get from Absolu Aventus, because that's more of a woody, spicy base. I get a little bit of a leathery base out of this. So honestly, there's more complexity that I find. While not the same quality, Absolu Aventus is a superior fragrance in quality and artistry. The blend is better. But the overall profile, I prefer this. So this was not my typical review because it's just one long segment, because I'm comparing it specifically to what it's inspired by, because it's not a clone of, it's inspired by. People still call it a clone, that's fine, I get it. But it's I have my own terms. Inspired by, a clone of. Inspired by, very similar to, but has its other nuances and it's kind of its own thing going. Clone of, they're trying to make a copy. This is not a copy. This is inspired by. It's got its own merit and its own charm. And I think people are going to love this one. I think this is absolutely an 8.75 out of 10. Is my rating for this. Performance, because people are going to ask. That's the one thing I didn't touch on yet. I clocked it at 10 hours. I made sure to stretch my second shower yesterday out as far as I could, close to bedtime, and it was still going around 10 hours. So we'll just throw it in the 8 to 10 hour range. Honestly, I think I could put it at 10 plus hours, really. Realistically, I could say 10 plus hours, but the safe range is 8 to 10. But It'll go above 10 for me. And I'm sure for a lot of people that will be the same. So I think this is great, bordering outstanding. And in my opinion, as far as the Club de Nuit line, now I don't have every single Club de Nuit fragrance they've ever put out. I have the overwhelming majority. It's the second best one they've ever done to me. This is still my favorite, but this is a close second. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on Armaf's new Club de Nuit Precieux #1. Which tells us it's a line and we're getting more. I'm telling you, mark my words, this is going to be the line where we finally get our version of Virgin Island water from them. That I'm excited for because the way they do things, it's not going to be a carbon copy. And that's what I prefer inspired by more than clone of. Because if I want the real one, I got Virgin Island water. I'll just wear Virgin Island water. If I want the real one, I'll just get Absolu Aventus. Remind me of it and then walk me down a similar path that's not the same. Walk me down a different path. Remind me of it and take me somewhere else. That's what I prefer. And that's what this fragrance does. So thank you, Fragrance Buy, once again for sending this my way. I was super excited to check this one out. Honestly, I wanted to do this at the beginning of the video, but I didn't want to overload my nose for comparisons. But I'm wearing it again today. I'm going to do 5, 6, 7. Plus I have the one on my hand and Absolu Aventus, so you can look at it as technically 9 sprays. Did I need that much? Hell no. But here we are. We're living in this sillage for the rest of the day because it smells damn good. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe before you leave this video. Again, there's a link down below if you're interested. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Y'all have a good one.